This is the most important serve I've ever had to take. Why, you may ask? Well, let me explain. The story began in August 2024, as I found myself in Paris, watching the semi-finals of Olympic tennis. And before I knew it, I was back at home, signing up for my first tennis lesson in over a decade. After barely touching my racket since the age of 11, I was ready to go again. Being back on court was fun, but my tennis, not so much. My forehand was bad, and let's not talk about my serve. I needed something to force me to get more serious, but I had no clue where to start. So after winning Wimbledon, Googling around for a bit, and downing several cups of coffee, I discovered the local tennis league. One brief moment of nervous hesitation later, I signed up, and was placed in the lowest of 3 divisions in my area. With the start date locked in, it was time to play. The match itself went something like this. The first set could only be described as a total serving disaster. My opponent and I successfully failed to hold serve for 12 consecutive games. And in no time at all, we found ourselves in a tie-break. Through sheer stubbornness, I held it together and took the tie-break 7-5. In the second set, the serving situation improved, and at 4-4, I got a crucial break on his serve and was able to seal my first win in the division. 1 match down, 5 more to go. Wait, I think I forgot to tell you the rules. I'll keep it brief. 2 points for winning, 1 point for completing a match, and only your 6th best result count. Riding the wave of confidence from my first win, the next 2 matches felt like a breeze. Everything seemed to click in place as I secured 2 comfortable victories, 6-1, 6-3 and 6-1, 6-1. Now, for the next one, I had to work harder. After initially going 3 games down, I managed to pull myself together and win the following 6, finishing the match 6-3, 6-4. I found my stride, won 4 matches, and climbed the top of the table. All I needed was 2 more wins. My 5th match was off to a turbulent start. Although I hit quite a few winners early on, I kept making unforced errors. Again, and again, and again. My opponent, on the other hand, was very consistent. Before I knew it, I lost my first set of the league, 6-2. With my confidence starting to crack, I fought back in a second set, but still found myself down 6-5 with my opponent serving for the match. So naturally, as we had to change court, I took a conveniently timed toilet break. Weirdly enough, it worked. I came back, broke his serve, edged out the tiebreak, and forced the decider. But then we had to pause for another court change. Unfortunately, after the 20-minute break, my momentum collapsed completely. He dominated the super tiebreak 10-1, handing me my first defeat in the division. This loss hurt more than I expected. I found myself replaying every mistake in my head and wondering if I'd just gotten lucky up till now. Just 3 days later, I was back on court. It was a really windy day and I had trouble adjusting my game to the conditions. Everything I usually tell myself to get back on track just did not work. Before I could react, the first set slipped away 6-2. Somehow, in the second set, the momentum flipped. Without doing much differently, I found myself 4-1 up and closed it out 6-2. But it was all back to square one in the third set. The more I talked to myself, the worse things got. Easy shots flew wide, and my opponent wasted no time capitalizing on it, wrapping things up 6-3. I started the league strong, but now everything was slipping away. 2 consecutive losses shook my confidence more than expected. Where once I eagerly anticipated getting back on court, I now found myself hesitating. I needed to find some answers. And one advice seemed to pop up again and again. The book made one thing clear. Overthinking each move was my biggest obstacle. So, no more self-talk. Positive or negative, it was distracting me from playing my best game. I had to learn to stay in the present moment and let my instincts take over. And instead of dwelling on my last play, I would concentrate on my breath. I was ready to put what I learned to the test. Only the best 6 results count, so I still had a chance. My shots were consistent and I kept my focus on the ball in front of me. In no time at all, I earned my first ever tennis bagel. Of course, not everything went smoothly, but as confidence surged, I closed out the match 6-3, putting me one step away from winning the whole thing. With only a few days left before the end of the league, I had one more match lined up. I arrived on court with anxiety hovering above me, but ready to take on the challenge. And after getting an early break, things quickly unraveled. 4 lost games in a row, and nothing I tried was working. But then, something changed. I started to figure it out. In the next game, down 40 love, I clawed my way back to deuce, held off 4 nerve-wracking advantages, and finally broke his serve. Momentum shifted in my favor, and I took the first set 7-5. I kept my mind in check and was able to improve further in the second set. Well, for the most part. Just like in my very first match, I secured a crucial break at 4-4. And this brings us here. The most important serve I've ever taken. Just like that, it was done. I won the division. But part of me was still thinking, what have I gotten myself into?